じゃあ、藤野ちゃんはなんで描いてるの？
What is a piece of art? It isn't something that humans have to make. It isn't an evolutionary trait paramount to our survival. Those are exclusive to eating, sleeping, and paying $90 for the new Mario Kart. And yet, throughout human history, the existence of art has been recorded at every single turn. A desire for self-expression, the expression of one's individuality, is a characteristic shared by each and every one of us. But even more than this, it is a means of connection. A one-shot manga written by Tatsuki Fujimoto, Look Back is a coming-of-age story revolving around two young schoolgirls united by a shared interest in drawing. Art is hard. In and of itself, to engage with the creative process is a solitary experience. While there are a plethora of outside influences that may serve to inspire, once you sit down to act on those feelings, it's just you, your vehicle of creative choice, and your imagination. And to become proficient at it isn't a process that occurs overnight. Day in and day out, refining your skills bit by bit, oftentimes by such a discrete amount that it's unnoticeable to the naked eye. Frustration, feelings of inadequacy bubble up to the surface. Why do something that ostracizes you from both family and friends, a solo effort that takes up all of your time, energy, and willpower, all for someone to dismiss your effort as not good enough? This effort, the countless hours spent, it just isn't enough. It's never enough. It's hopeless.
じゃあ、藤野ちゃんはなんで描いてるの？
For not only these girls, but countless people throughout the ages, the connections they are able to form through their joint artistic endeavors, the long hours spent together, the highs, the lows, having somebody that gets it, that gets you, is exactly the why. Tatsuki Fujimoto, to me, excels when writing about human nature. We are all imperfect beings that deal with our own internal struggles. Yet, at the same time, we all possess a certain resilience to hardship and intrinsic desire for more that he's able to beautifully depict in his works. The way that Look Back encapsulates the human experience by not only focusing on the highs, but also everything that comes in between, is where the true strength of the narrative lies. Right off the bat, I got the feeling that this show is different, and not just because of this adorable gremlin. A long, drawn-out scene spans the first 2 minutes of runtime, a time slot often utilized to immediately engage the audience with a taste of what's to come. Yet, despite filling said time slot with a long panning shot of the environment, followed by a character scratching her head, clearly thinking before finally putting pen to paper, Look Back accomplishes exactly this. I think especially during the beginning of the film, the way it was able to emphasize these low moments, showing the early progression of our characters extensively from their initial inspiration to a blossoming dedication, only served to amplify what traditionally are thought of as highs that come later on. Lulls are often present only as a means of transportation from one climatic moment to another, enough to give the audience a breather and the context necessary to understand the next, while in Look Back, the meaning behind the story itself is derived from these lulls. These daily happenings, the small conflicts and victories, while seemingly insignificant at the time, especially when compared to the realization of one's end goal, in retrospect, the real treasure resides in those mundane days. Unfortunately, with how easy it is to get lost in the pursuit of some lofty height, it isn't uncommon to lose sight of the bigger picture, to lose sight of the reason why we do all of this in the first place. To embark on an artistic journey is a deeply personal experience. To put yourself out there for the whole world to see can be nerve-wracking. To open yourself up to a whole new avenue of input, criticism, you name it. Your inner thoughts and feelings are given life in the form of your creation, something that you very well could have kept hidden as long as you walk this earth. And yet, we continue to do it. We humans crave connection. We aren't meant to be alone. And so we put ourselves out there in the hopes that the feelings we share, the dreams and aspirations behind our actions manage to reach someone else. Which makes it all the more heartbreaking when one of those beautiful lights is extinguished far too soon. I'd be doing Look Back a disservice if I didn't mention the fact that it doubles as a homage to the KyoAni attack in 2019. It's a reminder of the lives lost that day, the connections that'll never be mended, people with so much to offer suddenly ripped away by a senseless act of violence. But also, it's a reminder of the lasting impact those lights have left behind in their wake. Rest in peace. Look Back does so many different things right. It's a beautiful story, a love letter to the creative process as displayed by the loose line art that not only gives it a unique visual aesthetic, but also pulls the curtain back to reveal the individual efforts behind the production. The character animation is phenomenal. When the shy Kiyomoto is having a difficult time translating her feelings to words, followed by her coming out of her shell to show a provoked determination, no dialogue is necessary to get all of this across. You can just tell based off of the elaborate movements. Or when a triumphant Fujino shows us one of the most awkward yet relatable running sequences I've ever seen, when you have so much excess energy that your body just doesn't know what to do with it. But above all else, Look Back is inspiring. In no more than 53 minutes of runtime, Fujino and Kiyomoto are able to embody the idea that art is inevitable. It's not just something that we just do by chance, it's who we are at our core. Even if things were to play out differently, we always gravitate towards our true nature. Our desire to form relationships with one another, to share in not only each other's trials and tribulations, but also one's accomplishments and triumphs. Art is a means to achieve all of this. It always has been and always will be. What matters isn't the end product, the feelings behind the pen, the longing for connection deeper than the superficial. That's what makes art art. The only downside is that it's hard to pick up on all of this with tears running down your face for the entire back half of the movie, but I'll forgive it.